Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're in the first half of February and currently in the trade freeze for the Olympic break. So I figured let's do some early trade deadline predictions, and then after the Olympic break and leading into the trade deadline, I can do some final predictions. But what I've done here for the most part is given either one or mostly two trade destinations for the top players out there in the trade rumors. So, of course, comment your thoughts and comment your trade predictions. Welcome if you're a new subscriber. Welcome back if you've been here. Like, notification bell, all that good stuff. But let's get through it. I won't waste your time and talk about some of these top players and their destinations. So at the start here, I got Dougie Hamilton, top destinations, potentially the Leafs and Sharks. I don't know if he'll get dealt just based on, it's been a weird season for the Devils. Maybe this is an off-season trade. I do think if the Leafs are trying to save their season, this could be one of the change of scenery and like moves that they could make. Like I look at what the Florida Panthers did last year with Seth Jones. Obviously they were in a better situation than the Leafs are, but it's one of those needle moving moves in my opinion. So we'll see. Nazem Kadri, as much as it would hurt, I think the Habs are still very much on Kadri, and I think the Flames and Habs could make a trade that makes sense. I also think, I know they have older Brock Nelson, who's obviously been great for them. I wouldn't be surprised if the Avs relook at Nazem Kadri. I'm sure the Stars will be in there as well, but I just know the Avs, they know the matchup game is tough, and having McKinnon, Nelson, and Kadri up the middle would obviously be massive for them. I know they like Drury on the faceoff draw, but Kadri's a different beast in the playoffs. And then Vinny Trocheck. I've heard a lot on the Minnesota Wild, but I've also now seen a lot on the Red Wings, maybe going after Trocheck. I think that makes sense. They have a lot to offer in a trade to give back to the Rangers. Blake Coleman. I think reunion Lightning or Dallas Stars. I've been talking about it a lot. I think it makes a lot of sense. And Warren Fogle, it's crazy. Kenny Holland's public and saying he's got to trade Warren Fogle. Well, you know what? I like the Warren Fogle Mangiapane opportunity to do a swap. Mangiapane to the Kings, Fogle reunited in Edmonton. The other one would be Washington. Former teammates with Dylan Strome. I think Washington sometimes has that, similar to like teams like Tampa too. So maybe Tampa could make sense if a contract's going back the other way. But I'm just saying, like, there's certain teams in the NHL that have that perception or have kind of an understanding that they could bring a player in a great change of scenery. So if you have that reputation, sometimes players can benefit from it. So we'll see. And then you go into some other big names. I mean, Robert Thomas, Justin Falk from the St. Louis Blues. I think the Habs are going to still be in on this. The Flyers, it's been interesting. Obviously, they haven't had a great year, but I would say there's a lot of guys in the Flyers the Blues would like. I'll leave it at that. Justin Falk, Red Wings makes a lot of sense. And you know what? The Leafs. Again, it depends on what the Blues are asking for, but this could be kind of a change of scenery as well on the Leafs side going to the Blues. Justin Falk, I don't know if retention's in the cards, but it'd be the kind of player the Leafs want on that right side, especially if Tanev's out long term. Stamkos, Dallas Stars makes a lot of sense, but the Boston Bruins, you know what? If the Bruins are really going back into the playoffs and going for it, Stammer makes some sense here. I'm sure the Bruins would want Nashville to take a contract back, so we'll see. Braden Shen. There's been some rumblings that the Red Wings are trying to do what the Leafs were doing last year and unite the Shen brothers. So if the Red Wings were to get Luke Shen, Braden Shen makes a lot of sense. Detroit and the Blues weirdly make some trades together, so you never know. I just also feel like the Ducks would be like a perfect fit for Braden Shen. And then I'm just stuck on Connor Garland to the Boston Bruins. He's a mass boy. I just think it's a perfect fit. Send Arvidsson or another contract back to the Canucks with another piece. I think it could make some sense. Elias Pettersson. I had been suggesting the Boston Bruins. I think it could still make sense, but the LA Kings, once Kopitar retires, they're going to need another center in that group. Pettersson makes sense for that. Also, the Hurricanes, they've been talking about it for so long. Kotkaniemi, I feel like, is guaranteed a Vancouver Canuck in that trade. And then Kyrou, Penguins, Hurricanes. I think the Hurricanes are going to go for a big swing. I don't know if Kyrou or Pettersson fits that mold, so maybe they go for a guy with a bit more edge, but I think they're going to go big name shopping. Marchessault to the Golden Knights. I think reunited with William Karlsson could make some sense. The Avalanche, maybe as well, depending on the cap hit. Binnington, Golden Knights, Hurricanes, like, I just feel like those two teams are guaranteed to get to the second round if they're in the playoffs. So Binner's a big time player. He's a big game player. I could see it. Ryan O'Reilly to the Dallas Stars or Montreal Canadiens. I could see it. I think Ryan O'Reilly probably wants a smaller market in terms of the media, so that's why I think Dallas is the better fit for that personality. But if Ryan O'Reilly realizes that Montreal just needs that one piece, which is that second line center, maybe he's open to it. But based on what I said previously, I think Dallas probably makes more sense for that. Bobby McMahon. I mean, I said it last time. Dubas loves McMahon. He loved McMahon in Toronto, even when he was with the Marlies. Like, no one knew about McMahon, and Dubas was talking highly about him. So, you know what? Edmonton could make some sense here. I think Edmonton's just going to talk to Toronto regardless, whether it's McMahon, Carlo, OEL. But I do think OEL is a perfect fit in Detroit if they were willing to trade in division. And Brandon Carlo forever has been a perfect fit for the Dallas Stars. So we will see. The Buffalo Sabres are apparently looking for a bit of a rugged, blocking shots kind of defenseman. So guys like Alexiak and Carlo could make some sense. Andrew Mangiapane, as I mentioned before, if he doesn't go to LA in that Fogle swap, San Jose also could be that change of scenery option. And Edmonton and San Jose have, of course, made trades recently. Kotkaniemi, as I mentioned, Canucks, but also the Islanders have a couple tough contracts. Maybe there's a swap there that makes sense. Reichel, that one's an interesting one. Like I put Anaheim because I feel like they're that type of team that would take the change of scenery. But you know what? Vegas also buy low option. Luke Shen, Leafs, Red Wings, as I already mentioned. Teddy Bluger is another good depth option. And then Montebo's been talked about a lot in regards to the Flyers. So we will see. Obviously, the Devils have two aging goalies in Jake Allen and Markstrom, so that's why I included them in that. And then the last page here, Connor Murphy, Oilers or Leafs. I think both those teams are looking for that right shot defenseman. Michael Bunting. I put Vegas and Tampa because I feel like if there's 50% retention, Tampa would be so ironic. But Vegas, maybe reunited with Marner. And then there was some rumors out there that Evander Kane, if Canucks retain 50%, Dallas and Avs would be all over it. Logan Stanley, back to what I said about the Buffalo Sabres before, that big rugged defenseman for their either bottom pair or second pair. And then the Red Wings, there's been some rumors around Stanley as well. And then if the Leafs do opt to trade Nick Robertson, Dallas is probably the favorite, but I would say Nashville, maybe there's a change of scenery opportunity there. I know there's been the conversations of maybe Toronto talking to Nashville about Michelli or Robertson going to Nashville, and the Leafs reuniting with Bunting. So there's also that out there. But anyways, guys, this is super early. I just wanted to go through a draft of like certain players in the trade market and potential destinations. So definitely give your thoughts. I'm going to mull it over. I'm going to talk to some more people, do my own research, see how things play out coming out of the Olympic break, and then we'll do some more like solidified, like either top 30, top 40, maybe even top 50, just like one prediction of a trade destination for each player. So thank you so much. Subscribe, like, comment, notification bell. We'll see you guys on the next video or stream.